360. First, if you're creating a design that will contain multiple components, make sure you create and activate the component you want the sketch to appear within. Then, in the Design workspace on the Solid tab, select Create Sketch from the toolbar and select the sketch plane to enter the sketch environment. The view auto-orientates to the selected plane or face, and the Sketch Contextual tab displays on the toolbar. On the toolbar, select the Circle button, or press the shortcut key C on your keyboard to start the Circle command. You will see Fusion 360 is first asking you to place a center point, as the default is a center point circle. Left-click and release anywhere in the canvas to place a center point. Then, move the mouse pointer away from the center point and a preview of the circle moves with it, along with a diameter value input. If you specify a value for the diameter on the fly, a dimension is added to the geometry automatically. But if you just left-click to place a circle, it remains unconstrained. Keep in mind that it's good practice to define your geometry relative to the origin on the sketch plane, although we can constrain this at a later time. Some commands, like Circle, let you switch types on the fly instead of searching the toolbar menu. For example, in the Sketch palette, if you prefer to create a circle by placing 2 points to define its diameter, you can switch from the center point circle type to the 2-point circle type, then place the next circle. Also, if the Snap and Sketch Grid settings are checked in the Sketch palette, you can snap to the Sketch Grid to quickly create precise geometry. When you have finished creating the circles, you can press Escape on your keyboard to exit the Circle command, or start another command and continue sketching. You can also use the shortcut menu to access commands more quickly. Press the S key on your keyboard to display the shortcut menu, then search for a command, like line, and select it. If you hover over existing sketch geometry, blue auto snap markers display to help you snap to the geometry. If you snap and drag away from certain geometry, a dashed blue tracking line appears to help you align geometry as you sketch. If you want to temporarily disable these auto snap features, press Ctrl on Windows or Command on a Mac while you sketch. With the auto snap enabled, you can add other geometry types to existing geometry by snapping and left-clicking as needed until you get the base geometry you are after. When connecting points or endpoints on lines, Fusion 360 will continue to add to these lines until you tell it otherwise. You can either click on the green check mark or double-click on the endpoint to break this chain of lines and remain in the line command, or you can press Escape to exit the command completely. You can select geometry at any time, then, in the Sketch palette or the Marking menu, select Construction or Centerline icons to switch the line type of the geometry. Notice that centerline geometry still contributes to the sketch profile, acting as a boundary to close it. You can identify a closed profile by the blue highlighted area. If you're having trouble closing a profile, in the Sketch palette, make sure Show Profile and Show Points are both checked to help identify and close any small gaps where endpoint geometry may be close to but not touching other geometry. Once you have sketched the general shape of your sketch profile, you can use the tools in the Modify menu to offset geometry, add details like fillets and chamfers, and adjust existing geometry as you build your sketch profile. For example, you can use the Break command to split geometry into multiple segments, so that you can switch some of the segments to construction or centerline geometry. Hover over the geometry you want to break. Then when the red X's display at the points you want to break, click the geometry and it will split at those points. Press Escape to exit the command, then select the segments you want to change. To select multiple objects at once, press Shift while you select them. Any changes you make will apply to all the objects you've selected. For example, if you switch their line type to construction. Some commands, like Offset, let you automatically select an entire series of connected segments by using chain selection. You can drag the manipulator handle in the canvas to adjust the offset, then press Enter on your keyboard or click OK in the dialog to complete it. While sketch geometry is unconstrained, you can click and drag it in the canvas. This can help you understand where the sketch profile is still free to move and where it is already constrained. The idea is to get a fully constrained sketch, so when you click and drag on these points or other geometry, the sketch does not move. For now, we are just looking to get a general shape before we lock down our design with constraints and dimensions. Now you know how to create and modify